All right, everybody, I'm back with another excerpt from The Blue and the Brit. That is the podcast that I do with my buddy Ryan. This excerpt is from episode 13. Ryan and I were chatting about the hype train that surrounds new video games and E3 and what it's like to be excited and whether or not that excitement is a good thing or a bad thing. In the modern age of gaming, being excited about a game is almost as equally a part of the experience of being a gamer as playing the games themselves. I mean, I'm sure everybody has memories of waiting and that week before a new game comes out, you're sitting around with your friend and life feels dull because you can't play the game for another 7 days, and then the game finally comes out and something happens. I don't know, is it good or is it bad? We'll see. But I will let you get to the excerpt. But before I do, if you want to listen to the entire episode for free, you can head over to soundcloud.com/iBluairJgR. Cool. It's cool. It's been great for me ever since I started playing Islanders. I haven't played it in a couple of weeks, and I think I'm gonna dive into it probably tomorrow or maybe even tonight. But I've been taking a significantly different approach to how I game and even the reasons why I game. And doing this podcast is also it's facilitated discussions that are related to gaming that I didn't necessarily think through in their entirety. So it's been really cool, man. It's been really cool.
Absolutely. And we've got something big to talk about today because E3's is currently in full force. So let's talk about hype.
Yeah, the hype train. It's a thing, but in I feel like in gaming nowadays, hype is treated as a double-edged sword when it doesn't necessarily need to be. And what I mean is whenever there's a new game that's going to be released, people get excited for it. The people that are interested in, oh, this looks cool, I want to get it, I'm going to pre-order. But then at the same time, before they even finish their sentence, a whole nother army of people comes out of the woodworks and they're like, don't get too excited. Don't get way too hyped up or you'll be disappointed when the game flops. And I've always felt weird about that notion that you shouldn't get too excited about something because for me it's part of the experience because not everything can be great, but if you get excited for something and it is great, then you get to double dip a little bit. What's your
Mm.
opinions on being hyped for something? Do you like it? Do you try to stay toned down? It's like, nah, I'll wait till I get to see some gameplay. I'll wait till I try it out. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, we've talked about something to this effect in a previous episode when we were talking about Anthem, right?
We
We were
did a
talking
little
about
bit.
we had the people on one side who were sort of deriding pre-orders and those that weren't and were sucking the dicks of the game. Um, I feel it's the same kind of issue that we have. Mostly, I am like a kid at Christmas time, to be honest. Like I absolutely love just the hype surrounding video games. It's fun, it's exciting. I love watching people's reactions to these sort of things because they are honestly some of the they are in equal measure the same as mine because when you see something that you're excited for or you've been hearing great things about and it looks absolutely amazing in front of an audience of thousands and everyone else is excited as excited as you are, there's nothing that compares. Like when I know what we've talked about Shadowbringers at length, but I was in Paris when they were announced showed the extended trailer, when they showed off Gunbreaker, Vieira, the Your Heart 24-man race. Seeing the atmosphere in there was fucking electric. Like you could cut through it with a knife. It was amazing just how impassioned people could be about it, and it was the good kind of impassionment. Like I could see people sort of saying, oh, I don't know how Gunbreaker's going to be. I'm going to feel like it's going to be, sort of won't be as great a tank as we think it is. And there were people that were just like, I get to use a gunblade, and it's like there's so many different parts of it, and I think that's what makes us really human. It's on a metaphysical level, it makes us human to have those kind of reactions, and it's beautiful in a way. Like seeing just how stunning, like some of the things they showed off, like some of the things that we've been asking for years have started showing up. Like I'm just going to drop a couple bombshells.
I would hate to take that excitement away from people too, because that's why whenever I do get excited for it, I get a little bit for something. I get a little upset when people are like, "Oh, you better be careful because you might be disappointed." But it's just nice to be excited. Like you said, it's electric. It's kind of beautiful. It's fun to be in that space, because I was in a similar space before Anthem came out. I remember I was in Starbucks with a friend, and I just finished watching one of the trailers, and I was like, dude, you gotta see this trailer. And it was a cool trailer, and it looked dope. It had some gameplay in it, blah blah blah, and it was exciting, and I was excited to share it with him. And he was like, yeah, I might check it out, and it was a cool moment between the two of us of just being excited about a game. It's a much smaller scale than the Paris Fan Festival, but it's still. I would hate to live in a world where I was always like, well, this looks cool, but nah. I don't want to be that.
I mean, we were watching the live letter together where they showed off all that combat system stuff, and you heard my reactions while like they were showing all the job actions, and I was beaming from ear to ear. It was like 2 a.m, and I was trying to restrain myself, but I was like, holy fuck, Machinist gets a fucking robot. It was, oh my god, like, it was so palpable that, like, how I felt so happy, and, like, just everything else just didn't matter. The fact that I maybe had work the next day or whatever, I didn't give a shit, because I was just like that feeling just carries me through week upon week upon week, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it to bits.
It is.
Feeling. If I could crystallize it and inject it into my arms, I absolutely would.
Honestly, if it were possible, that'd be the best fucking drug out there. Especially for me, Final Fantasy XIV is a game that I've definitely been more hyped about than any other game. I'm not going to say it's my favorite game of all time, but
it's up there.
Yeah, it's really high on the list of things that I just super enjoy. And whenever they put out the job actions videos, I end up watching them about 50 times before.
Yep, same.
Like, yo, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. And I've done it again with the Shadowbringers job actions. I've watched just the sections that I'm most interested in over and over and over again. I was like, oh, well, it's 6 o'clock, time to watch it again. It's just, it's that there's something good about it, And even if there are disappointing things about it, it's not the end of the world. Like in the case of an expansion pack like this, it's a bit harder to get disappointed by it. Since the game is not completely changing. It's still the same foundation that you enjoy, but with a new IP, I get
gloss of paint.
Yeah. It's a little bit scarier though, going into a new IP, especially because I understand why some people are cautious about how they spend their money, because that's their money, and you don't want to waste it. Because believe it or not, Final Fantasy XIV is the reason that I will never buy a collector's edition ever again. And in the same, like 2 seconds ago, I was just singing the game's praises. But when the game first released in its 1.0 status, I was hype as fuck for it, and it wound up being a huge catastrophe. And I bought the collector's edition, and I felt like I wasted my money. So from that moment, I swore off collector's editions forever. Haven't bought one since. But I haven't allowed that to stop my hype. And there we go. That's going to do it for the excerpt. Again, if you'd like to listen to more, you can head over to soundcloud.com/iBluairJgR and listen for free. There's plenty more content coming on iBluairJgR, so stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.